If you keep buying plugins and more music gear, but you still don't have a single finished piece of music that you can point to and say, yes, that's mine, I own that, I did that, or maybe you've never even finished a piece of music, well, if that hits close to home, stay with me. Because I had this same problem too. And the problem is not money. The problem is that it's spending money on the things that you don't need and then calling it progress. In this video, I'm going to show you why more stuff is actually killing your music dream, how your spending is quietly voting against the life that you say that you want, and how to flip that today without buying another shiny thing. All right, let's get into it. So here's the hard truth about plugins. Look at your digital audio workstation. How many paid plugins are there? How many courses have you bought about using those plugins? Now, how many finished release tracks can you point to and say, that's mine, I'm proud of it? Or how many pieces of music do you actually have in video games? If more plugins were the answer, they would have worked by now. So you don't have a plugin problem, you have an implementation problem. And this is where most people lie to themselves. And it's certainly where I used to lie to myself. I used to say, look, once I get this synth, once I get this library, then I'll really have what I need to start. But you won't. Because the thing that's keeping you stuck isn't inside your computer. It's the system that you're not following and the accountability that you don't have. It's something called the value equation, right? You get results when your dream outcome and likelihood of success are high and your time delay and effort feel manageable. This is something from an incredible business guy called Alex Hormozi. Now, more plugins increase none of those things. They don't make your outcome clearer. They don't increase the likelihood of success, and they definitely don't reduce your time delay or effort. They just make you feel like you're doing something while nothing changes about your overall output. So let's think about it in how years disappear. So people say things like, look, I just need to think about it. Like, okay, I see what you're saying, I just need to think about it. No, you don't. Be honest. Now, when I was first confronted with the truth about how my plugin purchasing, let's call it addiction, was not actually serving my ability to create and release professional quality music, I said to myself, yeah, okay, I see the truth of this, but I think I need to think about it. I'm gonna take some time. I'm really gonna see if this is really true. If it is really true, what changes I would want to make. But here's the thing, when I said that I needed to think about it, I didn't sit down, sit in a rocking chair and stare at a wall for 3 hours weighing the pros and cons. Of course I didn't. I went back to work, there was groceries, laundry, a million tiny things that took away my focus and my thinking time. And 4 days from the point where I said I was going to think about it, I actually hadn't made any new decisions. Now, if you're remembering or you're in that exact moment right now, and you think, yeah, I'm busy, I'll get to my music later, in those 2 seconds, you just made the decision. The decision is, I'm okay staying exactly where I am. So instead of pretending you need more time, let's admit what you actually need, more honesty. Ask yourself right now out loud, if you have to, am I actually going to do something about my music, or am I going to keep telling myself stories? Decisions do not take time, they take information and courage. Thinking is almost instantaneous. Thinking happens very fast. So let's now talk about the no time myth. So you might say, look, I'm probably going to be too busy. Now's not a good time. Well, there never is a good time. Right now it's work and stress. Next month it'll be the holidays, then it's someone's birthday, then it's a new game release, then you're going out because it's Tuesday and someone invited you to go get donuts, right? There's always gonna be something. And if the only way you can work on music is when life is perfectly calm, you'll never, ever be able to create music because life is never calm. The best time to build composing as a habit and as a thing you do is when you're busy, because if you can make time and make it work now, then when things get even easier, it's a breeze. So the real question is not, is now a good time? It's, is this important enough for me to make time for it right now in this very moment? Because we make time for the things we care about the most. Look, you're already doing that. Your calendar is just proof of what you actually care about right now. You might be saying, all right, gotcha, I've got time, I'm gonna admit the truth to myself, but I just don't have the money, right? Okay, well, hang on a second. This is the big one. First off, I totally get you feel like you don't have the money. I've been there. But I want to tell you a story that really helped me make sense of it, and I've shared this story with quite a few people. I was in a game store once, and I saw this parent buy their child their first game console. And in buying their first game console, they got it wasn't just the console, it was the console, the extra controllers. the charging stations, the extra memory cards. We used to have external memory cards back in the day, and a whole bunch of starter games. And the parent said to the kid, look, I'm buying this for you now, but from now on, you're going to have to budget and you're going to have to save to buy yourself new games, new batteries, new controllers, new memory inserts, the whole nine. And the kid was like, yes, I will do it. Yes, I will do it. Why? Because in that moment, the kid went from not just being a kid anymore, the kid became a gamer. And so what we're talking about here is not about being a kid going to a gamer, but being a young adult, a teen, or an adult watching this video right now, going from being someone who's not happy with the way their life is around the decisions they've made with their music and the level of accountability that they've had around their music, to being someone who's carving music out of thin air, who's just like riding these waves of inspiration and creating beautiful sounds and creating beautiful music to share with the world, to truly, truly express your innermost feelings in a way that other people are going to get, in the same way that you've had those moments where you were playing a game and you stopped to listen to the music, or the music just took the experience to the next level. You're going to do that for other people too. So identities are built by where we spend our time and our money. So we can say that we care about music, but like our bank statement shows what we actually care about. Plugins, Steam sales, takeout, random Amazon junk, those are just identity votes. And if you want to change who you are becoming, you have to change how you vote with your dollars. Over the next 3 months, you are going to spend this money anyway. The only question is, do you want to spend it on more stuff that won't matter in a year, that won't move the ball down the field right now for you composing and will not result in you creating the music you say you want to create? Or will you actually become the composer that you say that you want to be? So let's do some simple math. Let's think about the next 2 to 3 years. Roughly, how much on plugins, gear, and random courses do you think you will spend? I mean, be conservative. Is it $500, $2,000, more? Whatever the number it is, what did you get? A hard drive full of ideas and no releases. And that's the true cost of your current strategy. Now imagine you instead took a slice of that money and put it into a clear learning plan that teaches you how to create music step by step, daily or weekly accountability check-ins with a coach so you don't ghost on your own goals, and unlimited music reviews so you're never stuck alone in your head on the music you're creating, in a community of normal, happy people who are prioritizing their music, and a guarantee that, if you don't get the result, that you keep getting help until you get the result. Now, that's not buying stuff, that's buying a result. So here's the contrast if we think about it. So path A, what you're doing right now, you keep buying cheap things that don't actually hurt to buy, because you and I both know that won't change anything. Path B is what you actually need. You make one meaningful investment that feels scary enough that you take it seriously enough to plug into a proven plan and finally get the result of creating original music that you want. You're gonna pay either way. You'll either pay in money now to solve the real problem, or you'll pay in years of your life staying stuck. Which one is more expensive? So, whenever I'm afraid to spend a meaningful amount of money, it's usually because I'm afraid of making a mistake. You too? Great. Then we are exactly the same. I don't want to make a mistake. I'm not a big fan of mistakes. So let's walk through this idea like adults. Best case and worst case scenario. In the best case, you join a serious music program, you follow a plan, you show up for coaching, you lean on accountability, you release music that you're genuinely proud of. In just a couple of weeks, you get momentum, a portfolio, and confidence. Like, would that be worth the investment to you? And then in the worst case, you show up to a program, doesn't deliver, you say, this is not what you said it would be, and I want my money back. And because there's a guarantee, you get your money back, right? In the worst case, you still spent 12 weeks or 14 weeks seriously focused on music. You learned a ton and you get your money back. So what's the real worst case scenario? Here's the real worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is you close this video, you do nothing, you keep buying plugins, and 3 more years go by, the same plugins, same half-finished tracks, same one day I'll do this. That's the only scenario that guarantees that you do not get what you want. So another one I hear, and I've certainly said to other people, is, look, I don't make fast decisions, I need to sleep on it. And saying yes would feel like a fast decision. But here's the thing, if you wanted to compose music, you've wanted this for years. You didn't suddenly start caring about game music today. You've been thinking about releasing music for a long time, that's why it hurts. So if anything, taking action now is actually the most reasonable decision you can make. It's not impulsive. It's finally aligning your actions with the thing you've been saying that you want to do for ages. Look, you're going to do something about this sooner or later. The only question is, do you want to start enjoying the results now or after you've wasted more years of your life? So let's lay it out. Future number one, you choose to close this video and walk away. You tell yourself, look, I'll think about it. Life fills back in, weeks turn into months, you buy a couple more plugins, you watch a few more YouTube tutorials, and you still don't have any music you're proud of. And every time you hear a great original soundtrack, a part of you tightens in your chest because you know that you're capable of more, but you stayed comfortable. Future number two, you decide you're done lying to yourself. You admit the truth that you don't need more plugins. You need a plan, accountability, and feedback. And you're willing to invest in the version of yourself that actually finishes what you start. You make one decision today that the future you will look back on and say, that was the moment that changed everything. So if you've been nodding along and thinking, wow, yeah, I am that person who just keeps buying small stuff that doesn't actually change the game, and I don't want to be that person anymore, here's what you do. Decide if this is actually priority. Not important someday, not after I sleep on it, priority now. And if it's not, cool. At least be honest and stop pretending. But if it is a priority, stop buying toys, draw a line in the sand, say no more plugins, no more random courses until I have finished and released 3, 10, 20 tracks. Now, if you want help doing that, there's a link in the video description to my program where we help gamers create and release professional quality music. And I'll walk you through the exact system we use to take people from hard drive graveyard of unfinished music to music in games, music on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, with a personalized learning plan, bite-sized lessons, real accountability, unlimited music reviews, and a community that won't let you disappear and guarantees strong enough that the real risk is not doing it. You're going to spend the money and spend the time anyway. You're going to spend your life either being the version of yourself who you want to be or the version of yourself who you don't want to be. The only thing you choose is whether those dollars and hours build the life that you want or the life that you're currently accepting. And if you're ready to stop collecting and start composing, click that link, fill out the form, get on a call with my team. Let's finally get your music out of your head and into the world. You've knocked on this door for long enough. It's time to walk through.